guys, welcome back to the CASA Course. I am Nick Casanova, your teacher, your realtor. Today's lesson, we are going to focus on out-of-state buyers. You know, the concept of buying a home when you're in town is scary enough, but buying a house when you're thousands and thousands of miles away, it's nerve-wracking. But it can be done if you work with the right realtor and your expectations are clear. So I want to break down those steps and what it looks like to buy a home out of state. So grab your pens, grab your paper. Class is in session. Let's go. All right, let's get right into it. So out-of-state buyers. Okay. So we know that the process of buying a home can be stressful, right? Especially if you haven't done it before, and just depending on what type of home, what type of investment you're looking to do. And so the thought of buying a home from out of state creates a whole other layer of stress, or it can. And I'm here to tell you it can be done, and it can be done relatively, I don't want to say stress-free in the sense of there won't be any bumps in the road, but I can give you clear expectations so that when you're moving forward, it's not because you're out of state that will make this difficult. I'll try my best to basically be the feet on the ground for you, so you have a real understanding, a clear picture, and clear expectations of what we're jumping into. And so, right out the bat, buyers reach out to me and say, "Hey Nick, I'm moving from Montana, and I want to buy a house in Tacoma. I don't know the area much, so I'm going to rely on you on just like neighborhoods and all of that. And in my timeline, I'd like to be able to, whether it be under contract or move in within the next month to 3 months." Okay. That's all reasonable. That all makes sense. So first, I always recommend, my next question is, hey, when can you get down here? Even if you're not gonna maybe come down here and put an offer in or anything, but when can you get down here so that you can drive around the neighborhoods, so that you can have a better understanding of where you're moving? Because I am happy to give you my opinion on, the Lincoln district of the east side of central Tacoma, of North Tacoma. But we all know, you have to walk the neighborhoods to have a true understanding. So ideally, we want to do that because it just takes one visit, to be honest. It takes one visit, one weekend, so that from here on out, when you're looking at homes, because initially you might have this wide range of, I'm willing to live here, 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 and here. But then when you get here, that maybe that search radius shrinkens a little bit, because now you're like, no, I actually want to be kind of in the central to hilltop area because I just liked it better. So that's the first thing. Please do what you can to just make one trip to get down here. Once you do that, and you have an understanding of where you want to be, now our search gets a little bit more efficient, right? It's going to be, you're not going to be wasting your time out looking at houses in neighborhoods you don't want to be in. And then now we have the location. Now you want to live in central Tacoma and Hilltop. So, of course, I set you up with a home search, and when homes pop up that you're like, hey, Nick, I'm super into this one, go over there, I set up an appointment, and I get you on Facetime. So we'll do a little Facetime walkthrough and go through the property and answer any questions that you might have. And if we do that multiple times, we'll go through the same process just like a local buyer. We'll see 4, 5, 6, homes. But then the one that sticks, you're like, this is the one. Obviously we connect with your lender, go through that process. And let me backtrack. It is very important if you can work with a local lender, especially because you're out of state. So lock down that local lender, okay? I should have said that before, but I'm saying it now. So we're submitting an offer, and let's say let's say we get it under contract, whether we have inspections or not. We have it under contract. You have the house, and we're closing in 30 days. Well, at that point, if possible, get down here again. If you can come through for the inspections, or if I can set up a time. I just did this for a house that closed in UP where they didn't have any inspections. I think we did a pre-inspection. But the seller, I said, hey, listen, we got it under contract. My clients would love to physically come see the house, even though I know we don't have any inspection contingency. And the seller was like, cool, yeah, come on through. So they flew in for a weekend. They came and looked at the house, and they're like, wow, this is great. And, obviously, the risk of you showing up after you're a mutual and you're like, oh, actually, it looks different in the photos. Like, that's always something that I'm worried about as your buyer's broker. And so another way to potentially protect that from happening is, say you have a friend in town, friend, family, whatever. I'm always willing to show houses, and prefer, not willing, I prefer to show houses, and your friend can join, so that I'm not the only one saying, hey, this is a cool house, you should buy it. I welcome the second set of eyes vouching for it, so that you truly know and feel good, comfortable, and happy with submitting this offer and getting to the finish line. And it's throughout the process, you're gonna have this kind of sense of anxiety or stress just because you're not there. And so I always just encourage, keep asking questions between myself and your lender, between the title company. Just keep asking questions, because a lot of it is just the unknown, right? And so if we can get your questions answered, you're gonna feel substantially less stressed. And like I said, I am your feet on the ground. So I will be at every inspection. I will be, I will connect with the appraiser. I will just be here. And so will your lender, if you choose a local lender. When it comes to closing documents and signing the closing documents, usually if you're in town, you're able to do that in the office. And obviously, because you're out of state, we would connect you with a notary. A notary would come out to you, physically meet you at your home or anywhere where locally at a coffee shop. You guys sign the docs, and we typically have to leave a little bit more time in case of delay of the docs. If the docs are supposed to be overnighted to us here in Tacoma and then they get delayed for any reason, and so we leave a little bit more cushion to plan for that. But it's usually fine. And then closing day, we get the keys, I get the keys, and then I just wait for you to come back. And so, it's possible. You can get it done. I don't want to say stress-free, but it's a matter of what questions can I ask, and when can I actually just get down there? Because sometimes it's not in the cards. You're like, hey, I don't have time to fly to get down there, so I gotta rely 100% on me and maybe a friend, family friend, and that's doable. We'll get it done. But I think when you're physically able to come and drive the neighborhoods and maybe pop in just to a few homes, the sense of relief, because now you get to go back home knowing kind of what you're looking at, knowing what you're shopping for. So like I know it sounds super stressful, but if we troubleshoot your concerns right out the gate, if we just get all your questions, all your worries taken care of, it's not as brutal as it seems. We're still going to go through the normal bumps in the road regarding buying a house, but I think we can make it less traumatic than maybe you think buying a house out of state would be. So I guess the moral of the story is, if you're buying a house out of state, first of all, when you're looking for a realtor, ask them, have you worked with out-of-state buyers before? Because frankly, when I worked with my first out-of-state buyer, like it was a new territory that I had to kind of maneuver. And now I've worked with tons, and it's not a second thought as far as like, oh, how are we going to go about this? So that's a question I would ask. Does your realtor have the experience to work with an out-of-state buyer? So, yeah, guys. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you for listening to the CASA Course. You out-of-state buyers, there is hope. You can do it. Work with the right realtor who has the experience. So there you have it. Class is dismissed. All right, guys, there you go. You out-of-state buyers, there's hope. We can get it done. And I think it comes down to just getting the right information. That's what it is. So and finding a realtor who can stay calm, cool, and collected, because you're still gonna hit bumps in the road. But I think if you work with someone who's been through it and can manage the personalities from another state, you're gonna be fine. So thank you for joining me at the CASA Course. Please go watch other lessons at nickcasanova.com, as well as if you want to pull this up and plug it in while you're driving, you can go to the podcast, just search the CASA Course at any sort of podcast streaming platform. And yeah, guys, equip yourself to be successful. That's what I do. I just want to provide you guys with information to educate you on, this wild market. So thank you for joining. Until next time, guys. Cheers.